Danish Meteorological Institute and the Danish Embassy in Ghana. And we're very happy to be here today to be able to engage you on a strategic sector cooperation that we have between Ghana and Denmark. This strategic sector cooperation is looking at developing numerous items under different activities. The major activity that we're looking at today will be the main component, which is known as the development of the Ghana Climate Atlas. As we know, there have been a couple of events and changing events. A typical example is what is currently happening. Typically in December and around January, we shouldn't be expecting any rainfall, or we should be seeing some sort of harmattan. But this year, it has not necessarily been the case.
The statement I want to say is that we want to welcome you all first to this assembly on behalf of the mayor, and then appreciate the Danish government for the partnership which has helped TMA greatly. For us in TMA, in terms of our wastewater system, tariffs and bylaws, we are having major support from the Danish government, and we are looking forward for a greater participation on the way forward.
Your president has said, like others this morning has said, we live in a world known now with huge impacts from climate change. We know climate change now from our long-term perspectives, where we see our countries change, and we also see from weather events, severe weather events and extreme weather events, that things changes rapidly. Sort of scientifically delivered information and data concerning the changes in climate and in weather. And I think this is the ambition which the collaboration between Denmark and Ghana is trying to lift. It's a huge ambition. We want to deliver a good situation in the long run. Climate Atlas will earn that purpose. Later today, go and talk to the fishermen, our users. That is a really important input from them as well. So I just want to express, Lord Mayor, my gratitude on behalf of our delegation from DMI, build up an even closer collaboration. Also, when we are back in Denmark again, we know that you're working close with Aarhus Vand, and we will, of course, take good contact to Aarhus Vand and make sure that what we learned today, we will feed in also at the top management level in Aarhus Vand, to make sure that we hold our hands as tight as we can. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Any meteorological data are collected, which is very important for our decision making that travels out of the country is through us. So if we are not able to transmit the right data, if we imagine what will be probably out there and what will come back to us to use. So we provide marine, already spoken to you about for the coastline. Also, you know, we are hosting the water basin. We provide the inland water. Aviation has also been mentioned already. Public weather, you know. Within that public weather, we also give the seasonal outlook. How we want to improve on that course of blurred picture we have to a higher picture, a higher resolution data, to make sure that we can even understand the changes that we are seeing right down to our community levels. So Ghana, we already know our climate patterns. Mostly the north, they are having the one rainfall season. But for the south, we are having two, the major and then the minor. And within that break, when the north is already at its peak around August, September, the south, we've seen a little break. And sometimes temperatures are relatively cool.
You can see information about everything you need to see about the climate atlas. So there are some definitions over here to help people understand, and then there is an overview table, and then also a part where you can download reports, communities, to tell people about the fact that climate is changing and that there is the need for action to be done on it. We can't stop it, so now we need information to plan ahead. We need information to take good decisions. So it's not like you are conjecturing or thinking about the values. Now we have the data here that, okay, getting to the end of century, this how much increase we are going to have and all of that, or this how the climate is going to be like, so that we better plan in terms of adaptation. Thank you very much.
We're subsisting on a tema that was laid out about 60 years ago. We haven't improved it. We've made it worse. Imagine if we're only responding to the mess that we've built up over the past 50 years in retrogression of what was laid out beautifully for us. Then we would not have justified where we sit right now. So on this note, I will beg you to forgive me for my tone, which is necessary to make sure that into the future we're not wasting any more of the time that we don't have much of. It is plain and simple. In my village, we are not hot because most of it is green cover. We're not congested because we're rural. Here there are too many people and the houses, and every inch is taken up with a building. Where's the green cover? So we are always hot. If you don't understand why we're so hot, then let me explain it to you. When you go to your village, it's cool. Especially if you don't come from up north, where we have a different thing. For us Southerners, our villages are cool. Why is this place so hot? It's your concrete, it's your container roofs, it's everything that is all over the place. We need to recapture the 25% greenery. And this is the reason why. If you can't commit to it, then there's no reason for these people to do all this work and expect that you're their partners. So we will continue on our development control. We will remove unauthorized structures from where they are, but we cannot afford for the ground to be bare. We need to regenerate the ground. Do our planning, but the stories are important for the public. And here's where we have a challenge. I want to challenge you in your cooperation to introduce a communication track. And I'm advocating for this all around the world where I've been, and we're looking at these kinds of collaborations. There must be a communication track, because it has to be tied to our culture, our socio-cultural, political and economic realities. And so you must do your assessment on that. How is this message going to go down? Even assembly by assembly, what does it mean to each of us that you make this presentation to? Because I just told you, it means something different in Tema. More difficulty in implementing than in other places. But beyond that, how do you relate your data to us as a people when we're thinking that every land, every space is asasi?